Hello everybody, welcome to Toast Time. I'm Cassandra, and this week I'm making paratha, which is an Indian flatbread, and I'm going to be using two different types of fats for this. So there are a lot of different theories and versions of this, and I would like to, as I usually do, try multiple versions of it. I have coconut oil and plain unsalted butter. I'm going to melt both of those when the time comes and use that for spreading on the dough. The dough itself is pretty simple. I have whole wheat flour, put the salt in, vegetable oil, and water. That's it. I'm not going to do all of the water yet. I'm going to do, that much I'll leave. I'm going to put it on the mixer with the dough hook and let it go for a bit. It's going to have to be on there for quite a while to get a really consistent, smooth dough. And I also have some extra whole wheat flour here on the side because we are going to be rolling these out and we don't want them to be sticking to our surface. I'm going to put this on the mixer and show you what the dough looks like when I come back. I had this in the mixer for a little while and it came together really nicely. At first I was afraid that it wasn't going to actually get mixed by the mixer because it's a small amount of dough, but it worked out very well. And then I just kind of did a minute or so by hand here. Make sure it's all nice and smooth. So the technique I'm using is my normal drier dough technique, where I fold it in half towards me and then push it away from me. And then I turn it 90 degrees and then I fold it in half towards me and push it away. Now what I'm going to do is cover this with a wet towel and let it sit for 30 minutes. That's our only resting time with this bread. It's just a 30-minute rest. I'm going to do that and then we'll divide it up and we start cooking. All right, here we go. This rested for 30 minutes. I did end up adding all of the water that the recipe called for. And I used the bench scraper to split it into 8 pieces. And we're going to get started. The griddle is heating up and I have it on medium heat. I'm going to take one of the dough. Oh, let me show you the dough. It actually looks really nice. Okay. Move these over. And I'm going to roll this out to about 5 inches or so. And that's why we have this extra flour over here. So 5 inches, that's going to be pretty thin. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right. Almost. Okay. Here we go. Now we got it. Not perfect shape, perfect circle, but that's all right. And then we're going to take the pastry brush and I'll start with coconut oil. I'm going to dip it in. We brush it over the whole thing. Right. Smells really good. Okay, do that. And then we fold it in half. So we have half circle. And we brush it again. Just this top layer. We're not flipping it over or anything. Brushing the top layer. Then fold it over again. So we're going to have this kind of a triangle shape. And we're going to roll that out again now. That. All right. and we're going to roll it out. Ooh, kind of squished out a little bit. It's okay. All right. And there we go. Now this just goes straight onto the griddle. And we have a nice sizzle. All right, I'm going to do the same thing. This time I'm going to do butter. All right. All right. Roll it out. I take butter. And same thing. All right. Then fold it in half. Brush it on. This is actually really quick to do. This is very soft, slightly melted. Hoping that might actually help with this rolling it out a second time, as opposed to the coconut oil that's very liquidy. Let me check this. All right, we can have some browning, but we don't want it to be too crispy. Lower the heat on that when I roll this out. When I had this in restaurants, they did a circle, but kind of like the unique shape of the triangle. It's unique to me anyway. It may not be unique to the culture and the actual recipe itself, but to me, I think it's unique and pretty cool. All right, I'm going to keep going on these, and then when they're done, we can do our taste test. I'm up to the last one and just putting the butter on the skillet. One of the things that you have to do is butter in between each one. So when you put it down, you have to butter it, but also when you flip it over, because you want to get not much, but you do want to get some, oh, that's really hot, of the browning, and you want to make sure it cooks nicely. All right, this one is getting rolled out and then going on. This is the last one to go on, and then we can taste them. Little tricky with the butter or the oil trying to escape, but if you're just really careful. I even did a couple where I pushed too hard towards the point of that triangle and kind of burst it, and it shot across the kitchen. But all is well, and just kind of doing it gently now and opening it up from the middle out, and it's working much better that way. All right. There's the last one. And turn up that heat a little bit more. We can give these a try. So this was the, okay, very hot. These are the coconut ones. Let's see. But it is cooked, it looks like. It's not quite the texture I had thought it was going to be. But that's really good. The coconut flavor is so good. Add some sweetness to it. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, and then here's the butter. I also read that a lot of people will dip this into their chai tea. There are a lot of uses for it. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, all of that. All right, butter. That's really nice too. I like them both a lot. You always put the butter on the pan, but you don't put the coconut for the cooking part. But they're both really great flavors. It's more dense, not as flaky as I thought it would be, but it's not a bad thing at all. This is delicious. I have 4 of each of them, and I bet they're going to be gone tonight. Thank you so much for joining me for Toast Time. If you enjoy the videos, please like, subscribe, follow, comment, all of that. It's very much appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you next Toast Time.